As I said, paint me like one of your French girls.
Oh yeah. Everything comes back to painting you like a French, or one of the French girls.
Oh, do we see?
She can change up loads of other girls.
Yeah, 5 that.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
Live
right,
from
cool.
New Zealand. Oh god.
Yep. Just got the notification. We're live.
One watching now. It's us watching ourselves.
What up? It's Derek Mertz, Dimas something. We out here. Pat Fetz, hi. Nick Shark, hi. I don't know, hey. I'm David Hasselhoff. 4 a.m. on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Hey.
But 9 a.m. in London, which is nice.
Oh, there you go. We got that market on lockdown.
Yeah. So welcome to the RCR podcast. I'm Nick, or Roman.
I'm Brian, Mr. Regular.
This is Adam and...
Adam.
Great. Just great.
Andrew Lamb, Caswell Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The owners of Camshaft Software Automation, the makers of. Our hosts for this now winding down trip of regular car reviews, New Zealand, which has been 2 weeks. It might as well have been an entire college career. Our touchdown in Auckland feels like freshman year. A long time ago, a lot of stuff happened. 11 vehicles, 3 cities, some panic attacks.
Yeah.
But thankfully, we're here in one piece, and no cars have been damaged.
Yeah, there's no complaining.
Yeah.
I mean, the first 2, well, actually, no, it was more like 4 nights, right? That we were in the Hot Box, which was a hotel in Otahuhu.
Oh, well, yes. In the suburbs of Auckland.
In Auckland, that basically had no air conditioning and was... They had a refrigerator, and they had a sink, and they had, all these other little amenities that any high-class, respectable hotel would have, but they just didn't have air conditioning.
See, basically every hotel here has like a fridge and stuff, but air conditioning is a luxury. Because it doesn't usually get that hot, and you came like in an unseasonable heat wave in what was clearly the hottest hotel in all of Auckland.
Yeah, the hottest January in 150 years.
Yeah, we just happened to fly in during a heat wave that was mainly unprecedented for how many years was it again?
150.
Jeez. So that explains it, even though the windows in our rooms did not open all the way. So, but maybe, is that in New Zealand? Because a lot of the windows that I've seen around here don't open all the way. They just kind of careen out and stop at a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, these ones only opened like 50 mil.
Yeah.
Whatever that is for you Americans. But I guess it was so you don't
3.5
like...
inches.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. I think it was so you don't like throw your baby out the window or something, I guess.
Yeah, pull Michael Jackson.
You have someone waving hi to you, Cass and Andrew.
Alex. Hi, Alex.
Who's he?
She.
Oh.
You failed.
Video production buddies
Yes.
from Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
And track day bro. Miata owners. Hi, Alex.
It's 1 a.m. Pacific, go to bed. It is, okay. For the people on the East Coast, we are 6 hours behind you. This is everybody in Pennsylvania, East Coast. Right now, we are 6 hours behind you tomorrow. That's where we are. So that's the easy way to figure out what's going on.
I'm checking my notebook to see what's in here about the trip, and it starts out with the chaos of Air New Zealand boarding by row rather than group, which just seems like a strange thing.
I don't understand boarding by group. When we first saw that, we were like, what the fuck, United?
Doing United for the first time was super weird, where it was like, oh, everyone by the window, you get to go in. And then everyone else gets to have a Hunger Games-esque fight about who can bring carry-on. Like, what the fuck is this?
You go into any American city and watch when it comes time to board. Please, they remind people to stand back and don't crowd the door. But every domestic flight in the U.S. is always a full flight, and there's not enough overhead bins. So,
I think the airlines we're used to just like have the number of people that they can fit the luggage for. I don't know. Foreign
Yeah,
concept.
Well, they have
US that
stricter
pack 'em out.
carry-on rules, I think.
So my briefcase over there, like you have to pack a suitcase that will fit under the seat in front of you. That's how it breaks down. I think boarding by group is very good because it eliminates all the questions. Group 1 is boarding now, and then you don't have to do the math of what you're boarding rows 46 to 81. I don't
Is my number higher than 20? I don't know. Is 25 higher than 20?
Yeah, can the average American do simple math? I don't know.
Yeah. This is the.
We get here, and the first 2 days are literally just doing whatever days, and so we go to Piha Beach.
Oh, we got a local Wellingtonian checking in. Blacken Temple.
Lachlan
Hello.
Temple. Nice to see you.
Oh, so there's a bunch of New Zealandy people. Dunedin, yeah.
I imagine most Yanks are asleep.
Yeah.
The
People on the West Coast, that's 1 in the morning.
so bars are still open.
Some people are still up.
Yeah.
Everybody in Seattle
It was
is awake.
weird that that's only like 3 hours away.
But
I mean, how cool do you have to be watching us live stream at 1 a.m. on a Friday night?
yeah, better this than the opening ceremonies.
Someone got a Pitone.
That's where office is. That's where we were
Oh, okay.
Nice.
half an hour ago.
Very nice. The Piha Beach. No, it was the beach that we went to before that inspired the whole phrase that New Zealand is so beautiful it looks fake as shit.
Yeah.
Like you can't trust in how beautiful it is because you think like maybe this.
Oh, there's a question we can answer. How's the beer in NZ? Any big craft brewers?
What are we drinking? Well, I am drinking Garbage Project.
Garage Project.
Garage Project, pills and thrills.
Yeah, I am drinking Garage Project Venusian Pale Ale.
Ooh, very nice.
What is it? The pale ale with lemongrass, lime leaf, and grapefruit peel in it.
Yeah, and I accidentally spilled a small trinkle like an asshole, knocking it over. You know,
You spilled my pretentious douche beer.
hey, you're more than welcome to spill my pills. I was going to say pretentious douche beer, but how pretentious can a Pilsner be?
If anything, that's pretty pretentious.
He says, having graduated from Penn State.
I do love the fact that brewery has the ultimate unpretentious beer though. Their basic lager just comes in a plain white can with like black Arial letters saying beer. It's just called beer. And I think it's just their answer to like when people come in and like, I just want a normal beer, and they're like, here, beer.
I want a Heineken. Well, you can have this beer.
Did you notice that the craft beer place we were in before had a like certificate saying it was certified Heineken free?
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
The place you went tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Figures.
But yeah, Piha Beach,
Piha Beach, yes.
Black Sands, hot as hell. Had to get jandals from a dude who also sold soft tacos that were delicious and amazing. And I got his last pair of male adult jandals, and it was fantastic. But yeah, that sand was some Fear Factor shit.
We got someone from Christchurch, and hi, Andy.
Ah, yes, one of our fans. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You should tell them about your attempts to go and find Nick in the hot sand.
Oh yeah. I was so full of myself, thinking I've done summers on the Jersey Shore in the dog days, and my feet can withstand this. So I'll just have a run back to the parking lot, and I start running. Yeah, it's warm. It's warm. It's warm. It's warm. Getting warmer. Getting warmer. And I started doing the math in my head that I am halfway there. But the heat on my feet is getting exponentially hotter. It hurts. It hurts. But then there's that one thought that you think you can tough it out. But then the pain is getting into the worry stage. Like, you may be doing damage here. And from Andrew's vantage point, you see me running away going, no.
I have never seen you run that fast.
And going in the opposite direction, I got maybe a meter and a half out there and thought, if I go any farther, they're going to need to take me to a hospital. It's really bad. Going to have to amputate both my feet. It's terrible. But yeah, out there it was, and the heat of the sand was contrasted with the like icicle cold of the water. It was delightful. once you're actually out there.
And then I love all the people who, like, when we said, oh, we went to be how everyone was like, oh, we went to the beach where everyone dies.
Yeah, I didn't know about that until after the fact.
Yes. I mean,
You know.
the waves were reasonably, yeah.
How
Spicy.
bad-
They were good.
Griever Laguna says, how bad, nice Final Fantasy 8 man. How bad was the shock switching from winter in PA to summer in New Zealand? Was it snowing before we left? It was just
kinda,
gray.
It was kind of gray and warm. 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is
Some Celsius.
7, 8, 9, 10. You know, not cold, but that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get here, and it felt like summer. Okay, bit humid. It's late July. I can deal. But then we get to the hotel, and no air conditioning.
Yeah.
And my heart sunk when I felt the heat coming into that room. And I looked at the pitiful little oscillating fan. And I almost wished it wasn't there. This is really.
Well, this is the first time I've
I'm
heard the
gonna
story in
have
this
to
detail.
sleep in this heat. So every single night was sleeping pills for me on that to just knock myself out. There was a few hours in the night where the temperature dropped and it was good, but part of it was we were on the 3rd story of a hotel. You know, you go out into the hallway, it's cooler. You go down to the lobby, it's cooler.
It must have been 15 degrees cooler in the hallway.
Yeah.
Like, that first night was, that
Well, first night,
sucked.
yeah, we put our pillows in the fridge.
Yeah. That's college thinking.
And then I thought, like, once we got out of it, why didn't we just put our pillowcases in the fridge? Like, why didn't we put
I wanted the whole thing
the
to be
whole
cold.
thing? Yeah.
Yeah, Melbourne, fair comment. I mean, 2 of us used to live in Melbourne, and we left because it was too hot, so we're clearly soft.
I'm trying to think of, like, it's strange because it feels like we've been here longer than we have been.
Yeah, today's the
Ha-
today's the 10th in New Zealand, and we've been here for 11 or 12 days.
Yeah. How do you not have cold? Because it's 25 in here.
It's warm.
And also,
It's summertime here. We're in the depths of summer.
Also,
New
it's New Zealand, so, like, wearing shoes is not a thing.
Yeah, the weird thing here, my feet started to sweat when I put shoes on. And then there was a part where we were walking around downtown Wellington, and I had my sandals on, and even those were too much. So I'm just walking around and just take them off.
Yeah.
There's no garbage. There's no broken glass. There was one floating soda cup in the bay. One.
Yeah, and that probably explains why so many people just go barefoot here. I hear that from, like, Americans who move here. Like, I have an American friend who moved here, and she said the 2 biggest things she noticed were that limes were overpriced and that no one wears shoes. Yeah, fair.
Do you guys get the squeezy lime? As in the plastic lime just filled with lime juice?
Oh.
that you,
I haven't seen them in years.
We get-
We ended up staying in possibly, and this is a jump ahead, but mostly because we're skipping over saying what we actually filmed.
yeah.
Long story short, we had like 11 views out of this. But
Yeah. We'll talk about it on the Smoking Tire, which will be tomorrow, but 2 days from now for us.
Like, I think you mentioned it in the car that we will be leaving and arriving on the same day,
Yeah.
even though, like, technically it's, time
Like,
shift.
in actual time, well, no, in clock time it's 2 hours, in actual time it's like 14.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cottage, it was possibly the nicest place that we've ever, like, rented out on an RCR trip, of just this Airbnb little cottage place that had...
Oh, in Greytown?
Yeah, in Greytown.
I think you jumped way.
Yeah, I jumped way ahead because I'm, like, bypassing everything. Although, I guess, I mean, we could also talk about the meat because... there was and also we've been talking and haven't mentioned, like, Isaac was a big part of it. Of
Oh,
we
yeah.
wouldn't have gotten
I know
anywhere
it's
without
that,
Isaac.
Isaac the Wheelman Bloomfeld.
Yeah,
That
Field.
Good man.
Feld or Field?
field.
Field.
Alright.
Bloomfield.
Bloomfield. Yeah,
Blomfield.
Blomfield.
I'm sorry, Isaac, I'm sure you're watching this.
Yeah, sorry about that, Isaac.
That man can wheel a Highlander.
Yeah.
One guy
He's
calls Big Lover.
He's one of the most like
am
talented.
drunk in
natural
New
drivers.
Zealand. Love
Yeah.
you. Your views. Please talk about the Holden Ford rival. I love you and your reviews. Please talk about the Holden Ford rivalry from a U.S. perspective. And from a U.S. perspective, the Holden Ford rivalry appears to me childish.
Don't worry, from a New Zealand perspective, it looks like that too.
All right.
Or Australia.
Surely it's similar to like the GM Ford rivalry.
I'm making a note in case
The
I wanna
GM Ford rivalry
do something with that.
is a just friendly jabs. Like, yeah, this and that. But that's it. That's the big.
Yeah, I think it's because. Yeah, no, I know why it's bigger here, and it's because think of like the biggest sports teams rivalries, and then consider that every year we have a really major motor race where Ford and Holden are effectively the rival teams of a sporting event,
Okay.
and then project that sporting bullshit
Okay.
onto the GM Ford thing, and then you have our level of bullshit.
So it's Eagles Cowboys.
Ah,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that would explain it.
On behalf of Boston, happy 420.
No, I guess it
John
would be.
Jenkins says, I missed you at Hard Park, sad crying face. You should have come to Christchurch. So you came from Christchurch to go to Hard Park? Anyway. Yeah, we got
someone know Isaac there. Looks like the teachers would call Isaac Mr. Bloomfield. Or hi, guy who knows Isaac.
Yeah.
I love what a small world this is.
Yeah.
Because we went to a bar tonight and somebody, well, we didn't get recognized. It was after talking to them that they realized, oh wait, yeah, I know about this. You're the ones who do the really perverted car reviews.
Yeah.
Alex, we went to the cousin of the Mad Breakfast spot. They have 2 cafes now, and their other one
I
is
will
just
probably do the Mad Breakfast spot tomorrow because it's right by the airport. So I'll do it before then.
Someone brings out the we don't shear our sheep with anyone. You heard that joke? I think it's someone comes across a New Zealander like dragging a sheep through the field, and says, "Oh, you're gonna shear that sheep?" And he's like, "Nah, bro, I ain't shearing it with anyone."
Oh, it's a groaner, but I'll
Yeah.
allow it.
I had a Kiwi friend in Australia who was a member of the local volunteer fire brigade, and for some reason he had a pet sheep in his backyard of like a country town, his little country town house, and he literally was like grabbing his sheep from behind to drag it somewhere, and just as he started doing this, the fire truck with all his fire brigade mates pulled up. The one Kiwi guy looks like he's doing things to a sheep. They never let him forget that.
I want to send $10 for a super chat. Why isn't super chats? I don't know what super chat is.
It's like that thing where you can send money through them if it's like a stream. I've only ever seen it with gaming, so I don't know if you can
Yeah,
actually do
I
it
have
with,
seen it. I have seen it on
yeah,
YouTube
on YouTube.
streams.
Yeah.
What
but
is it? You pay $10 to get my attention?
Yeah,
I think-
sort of thing.
No,
Yeah.
I think you pay $10 to get your dick pics.
ah,
I assume that's how this works.
No, it's like sending like a Mornos chat.
$10 for a private show.
the,
Another is beer better in New Zealand.
oh, yeah.
Well, we think so. I don't know.
I mean, beer is good. I can't really complain.
There's an awful lot of really good craft breweries. There's also a lot of shit mundane beers, but if you like craft beer, you could drink like a new craft beer every day for an entire year and not repeat yourself.
Very nice.
So I guess that's good. I don't know if you guys rate it, but
What funky? Well, we already talked about the beers.
Yeah, everyone's
Jeez,
fascinated.
they're like, I have a Cavalier. And
Oh,
you also
'cause-
have a Mega Millions lottery ticket.
what do you think Korean cars will really catch up with Japanese ones? Kia Stinger, bro.
That's like,
What
oh,
American cars have you seen there?
Oh,
We saw a F-body Camaro,
Yes.
which it was very unique to see that amongst all the JDM things, and also when I learned that the guy paid 10,000 New Zealand for it, or 12, no, he paid 12,000 New Zealand. He paid $9,000 for an F-body Camaro. Yeah, it had an LT engine. Who cares? What was it? 98? Wait, no, it
No,
was
it was
earlier
earlier.
than that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
already?
but then in response we were winding you up with STI wagon price.
Yeah. Because I see STI Foresters here, and I'm like,
And the first gen WRX STIs.
yes,
for
from $3,500.
It was a rough one, but
Daddy want. I was
Uh,
going to
we
ask
do
you
see a lot
to
of
see a
JDM
lot of
imports,
JDM imports, or we just asked that.
There was
literally,
also the JDM.
Yeah, I was just
Wrangler?
just looking up that stat. There's basically 42% of all New Zealand cars are JDM imports.
yeah.
There was a big bit where I was so tired and we had to drive back to the airport or something. No, we had to drive. Where were we? No, we were stuck. It's not stuck, but we were at Phil's friend's garage.
Oh,
They
and
were
we
there
drove
to show us
Murray.
this not one of a kind, but very rare 1971 Skyline, and all I cared about was a JDM TJ Wrangler that was also in the shop.
It was funny, we all led you in and went, look at the majesty of this 70s Skyline. You immediately turn around and go, ooh, Wranglers!
There's
There's
a
a
good chance.
Wrangler here.
There's a good chance that Wrangler was actually assembled in Austria.
Huh.
There's this weird factory in Austria that puts together basically like
Steyr is in the guys who make rifles.
Really?
Have a plant that's just like a car assembler for hire, and they did a whole load of the right-hand drive Jeeps.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're better or worse, but I'd take a guess at possibly better.
Well, it's a reverse flow head, and now you move the steering box to the side that has no engine, nothing on it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that is
I
interesting.
think it's that side.
Alex asks if we're still rolling in an E60.
Yeah,
Well,
I
yes.
drove it. I drove it for 3 days. That was the longest I've ever driven a car in a foreign country. Granted, it was all mountain and I didn't have to deal with any city. I did hit the rumble strips more than I'd care to admit. And I also was thankful that there were a few trucks on the ring-a-ming-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding or whatever it is pass.
The Rimatakas.
Rimataka.
Rimataka, yeah.
Rim. The Rimmy pass. So that meant I could go slow, and it wasn't my fault. So I just stuck behind the truck. And then I got down, what's the first town after the Rimataka? Featherston. Then everything got Kansas for a bit, and I like that. So it was a short drive from there to Carterton and the Johnson's farm, where I had a lovely 3 days of a completely different Kiwi experience that started with a barbecue, and then Bryce is on the roof. You look over and he's climbing up on his own house.
And did he have any shoes on?
No.
Excellent.
Like, he has a long sleeve, I would call it a flannel shirt. You would call it
I think we called that too.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I would say that.
there's a
I
name for
understand.
it. A heavy flannel shirt has a specific name.
Can we bump up the audio level, please? Possibly. Is there any more gain left?
Maybe.
Is this
Yeah, that might only be like the other volume.
testing?
You might have some in OBS too.
Alright. I have it all the way up on conference mic.
I mean, levels sounded okay. Back to it.
Can anyone comment on audio levels besides that guy?
Yeah, well, there's a bit of a delay.
Yeah.
This
Talk
isn't-
amongst yourselves. I'm going down.
Did Roman Mike Mark 4 R32 Golf at Hard Park, which
Sounds okay, says my dad. Anyway, carry on.
to be honest, Hard Park, to be honest, Hard Park is kind of a blur for me because I had like the worst heartburn in the world because I took a pill. It didn't go all the way down. I thought I was gonna vomit everything up. I went to a Countdown, which is like your supermarket, and went to find a bathroom, and the bathroom was out of service. And so I buy a bottle of Mylanta on Caswell's recommendation for an antacid, and then I ended up in this Asian restaurant, this Asian fusion restaurant that had a bathroom that had a washing machine in it. It was just so completely random, and I thought I was gonna completely,
Okay.
I don't know.
The majority vote is that the audio is fine, so anyone who's
Yeah.
quiet is...
Put some headphones on and turn them up.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be listening to this on speakers anyway.
Also, that is a good call that our home cinema room looks like a brothel waiting room.
You know, it's just
It looks like you're doing push-ups.
it's like any person waiting for a room job gotta wait somewhere. So
Well, you'd be waiting a while now.
Someone says, where are you doing your test drives for the reviews? I'd recommend Packy Yaki Hill Road.
Oh, Pyke Hill, yeah.
If the weather's okay and you like twisties. We got some twisties. All the filming has completed, I think, 4 days ago. Actually, we got some extra stuff, some fun stuff.
I think Brian's been over to Twisties.
Yeah.
The twist-
Someone said, how do you like the roads here? How about you tell them how you like the roads here?
Yeah. I actually got really close when we were coming back from the cottage.
Oh, and I was driving?
Yeah,
I thought it was, well,
No, you were doing a good job of driving. It's just that like nobody could tackle those roads, and I wouldn't feel something. It was like how I got after 2.5 minutes of the Oculus Rift. Just like I was like, okay, this clearly isn't working for me anymore, and so, I mean, it's just gonna end badly for me. But yeah,
yeah, these curtains are like the butt rape scene in Pulp Fiction. What song was playing?
let's stay
Dude,
together.
someone says I've watched that film.
I haven't watched that film in like a decade.
I want to think it's these boots are made for walking.
It's
Ding
something.
diggy ding 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 diggy ding.
Nailed it.
This room is kind of creepy with the.
Now I'm on the green bullet pills now. The Adventurer.
Mm.
This is kind of
It's named after the old.
You carry on as you are. I need another beer.
Can you grab me my party and bastard?
Etienne says,
It's served in a bird feeder.
did you skip a week or did I miss last week's RCR? We didn't do anything. We haven't released anything, I think, for the past 2 weeks because we've been here in New Zealand. And we didn't bank a bunch of episodes because I don't feel like it. So there's been nothing for 2 weeks.
yeah.
And when we get back to PA, there's also going to be nothing for a week for us to just make a video. And for me to just live in the gym for a solid 3 days, because we made no attempt to eat healthy while we were here.
Well, I have a video that is in all but name done on Leadfoot Festival.
Okay.
Like just a riff video, and then another video that's like halfway done is the RCR stories that I'm working on. That was supposed to be done 2 weeks ago, and I thought I'll work on it while I'm in New Zealand. And then we get to that hotel, and they say 2 gig limit on the internet.
Yeah.
And so, and that's after we got here and we got SIM cards for our phones so that they would work internationally. And so we have X amount of data, and it's just our internet situation hasn't been ideal to be able to work on things.
Because I didn't work on anything at all. I just social media'd myself to freedom.
Yeah. In the UK.
What are you seeing up there?
Oh, just my friend Alex again. Have you had breakfast pie from the place by the bay? We haven't, have we?
No, we haven't had
no.
time breakfast pie, unfortunately.
Shame. It's a legit pie.
One of the previous questions was Steph was asking if Eurocars are rare here or expensive, and it's like they're not particularly common and they're not expensive.
Yeah. Did you answer with what an E60 is worth?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Like, so our 2006 E60 with how many Ks does it have on it? 120,000 Ks is maybe $6,500 US.
Yeah. Because everybody's like really freaked out by Eurocars here because everything's Japanese, so any Eurocars they're like, oh, it's gonna be expensive. Things are gonna break. And they're right.
Yeah. No, Phil 2.6, there is no Wawa equivalent in New Zealand.
Well, I've heard you mention Wawas, and I haven't actually dared to ask what the fuck a Wawa is.
Gas,
A Wawa is it? Okay.
no, a gas station was made to order food. You go to a touch screen, you order whatever it is you want. They prepare it there, but also it's like a dairy or convenience store. And there's a gas station like outside, like it's a gas station.
We do have espresso machines in all our gas stations. Well, a lot of them. So, like, yes. The Smoking Tie guys were freaked out by that. They were like, you can get, like, espresso in, like, a random rural gas station? We're like, yeah.
would be embarrassed to see the cappuccino machines that, even in Wawa, it's shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the cappuccino machines in any American gas station is going to be powdered cappuccino mix that they put in like this plastic bag and then gets mixed with hot water and slithers out of the nozzle.
That's a good question. What's the classic teenager's first car in New Zealand? Probably rear-wheel drive Safiro.
Well, if you're like a,
Gets.
none of us can really answer that because, like, we've only been here 4 years and you've only been here 2 weeks. So,
I think of what you're implying of what is a teen, like an enthusiast teenager's first car.
well, if it's an enthusiast teenager's first car, it's probably a Safiro and one-wheel burnouts all the way down the street with your RB20E.
To answer Quincy's questions, is there any true old Volkswagens there? I haven't seen many Beetles.
We saw a thing.
We did see a Volkswagen, I think, one.
Yeah, there were a few
There
Beetles.
was a thing and a Beetle at Hard Park. A Beetle with the trumpet, like, exhausts.
Yeah.
Megaphones.
But as far as people like trying to do like the San Francisco thing or even a New York thing and live with a classic Beetle, no, I don't see that.
Oh, I can answer that one. What's the preferred method of birth control? Being deeply unattractive to women.
Yes.
It worked for me 10 out of 10.
Just like at home, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Ugly is international.
So there are really weird sort of things here that I didn't expect to see. Someone brought a Fiero to the
Yes.
meet, and it's like, why?
Wait, about a year ago, I saw an SSR come over the hill.
Ew.
Like, who went through the effort of bringing an SSR? Okay,
Especially when you
Like
can
that
only
truck
import
thing,
so-
right?
Yeah. The weird Ute that had the like hard top that retracts and.
Yeah. Those were bought by old retired men. To me, an SSR is a modern Winga-Dinga car. Like, I want an old car, I want it to remind me of the good times. And I don't want to work on it, I just want to drive it. And if you don't have money to get a Bruce Hen style resto mod on a car, or have the time to do it yourself, you buy an SSR, the Plymouth Prowler. There's
I've
another
seen
one.
A couple of those, yeah.
It was
Would you believe?
that ew.
Okay,
There's one. I saw one on Trade Me a few months ago, and it was stupid money.
that's a good one. Best food you've eaten here?
Bryce's barbecue, because
That's true, yeah.
the meat came from over there.
The meat had a name.
Yeah, the
steak
sheep
was
ribs. It was just rib. Was it lamb? Well, lamb, sheep.
I see you connecting the dots there.
Yeah.
It was. I guess lamb ribs sound more appetizing than sheep ribs, but it was probably
Mutton
sheep.
ribs.
Mutton ribs. Yeah, and it was just. I'm gonna have 10 more of these.
Fresh off the sheep.
And then a steak that also was mooing like
Yeah.
a while ago. Not that day. But
Yeah.
Bryce has butchered them themselves, but he says it takes me like the better part of a day to butcher and clean properly an animal, or I can ring up a guy and he'll do the whole thing in 2 hours, and I pay him whatever the fee is, and then I get like triple that in meat that I can have. And you walk in the garage that has no door, and there's just the meat locker full of hundreds of pounds of meat. And so that was a pretty good
Oh,
barbecue.
that's another good question. As an American, how do the cops compare? What they drive, how they act, etc.
Well, have
What
you seen
cops?
No, we did. They came to the meet.
They came to the meet, but they
They didn't
just
get out. They didn't get out. They didn't whoop their lights. They just had to drive by, make sure everybody's behaving themselves. Okay,
Yeah, they didn't do
Cheers.
the whole like, what are you doing? What are you?
what are you doing? Who's
What
in
you doing?
charge here?
Who's
Why
in
are you doing this? They didn't.
I want to
try
see papers.
Yeah.
It's just they ended up chasing somebody out of the lot. I don't know what they were doing, but or not chasing. That's the wrong word. But the person could sort of just ripped ass out of the lot or out of the car park and just zoomed off towards the Carl's Jr.
But besides that, it was like a massive parking lot full of sketchy modified cars and sketchy people driving modified cars, and the cops were just driving around going, yep, cool, you guys aren't doing burnouts, whatever.
Yeah, one of my
it's fine.
favourite cop experiences here is we were driving back from Auckland to Wellington. It's like a 6-hour drive after watching a show. And so we're at the middle of the night, like 1 a.m. whatever, just coming down the road, and the cop just pulls us over because we're the only person around.
They're
So-
bored.
And they're bored. So they have a bit of a yarn. Oh, so what are you doing here? Oh, we're coming back from the Mythbusters show. Oh, how was that? Oh, that was really good. And they sort of, oh, I pulled you over because your headlights out. And he looks at, no, your headlights is a bit shit.
It's like, I'll carry on.
Like,
Or in the same car, which had a relatively loud exhaust, not like it is now, but I was pulling away from like a random breath test or something, and was like really carefully not revving it because I didn't want to upset it with my loud exhaust. And the cop was just like, "I'll give it some revs." I was like, nice.
Yeah, no,
Nice.
none of that. Back home for the headlight thing, you would have gotten a fix-it ticket or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Just,
I mean, all cars get either 6 monthly or yearly inspections, so there's no real point in giving someone a ticket for something like that when it's guaranteed to need to be fixed in 6 months anyway.
it's just that they wanted. You made them get out of the car, so now you're going to get something.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, extremely chill.
oh,
here.
one of the other great ones is came to pick you up from like the train station or something, and like went through a breathalyzer test. Picked him up, came back, and I went to go, oh, hello again. And he's like, oh, you've already been through, but yeah, and he just let me go. I'm really like disappointed that he couldn't breathalyze me again.
The Commodore SB6 patrol cars, I think they would absolutely kick the shit out of a Crown Vic police car because they go around corners.
Oh yeah.
And you need to go around corners here.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine like a police chase over the River Tarkin in a Crown Vic? The cop car would end up off the mountain.
oh, I need to sick that just thinking.
Yeah, gonna wallow around the roads.
It was a great thing back in the day in like probably early 2000s in Australia where the criminals had this habit of stealing WRXs and then using them to do armed robberies and then escaping in said WRX. And the Commodores and Falcons of the era just couldn't hang with them. It was back in the like wallowy live axle era. The cops actually bought a bunch of WRX STI cop cars with the express purpose of chasing other WRX STIs down.
Nice.
What is the hardest import car brand name to pronounce properly?
Probably versions of Accords and Corollas that are JDM off-branded or they changed the name of
Yeah,
it.
there's a million sub-names for Corollas.
Yeah.
Like there's the Run X, and then like, oh, it's a Corolla wagon, well that's a Caldina.
Yeah,
Like, it just
And
goes
then
on and on and on.
There's the Alex.
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 Which is a Corolla. I can't, like, it is a Corolla.
Yeah.
Like,
And the Blade Master.
the Blade and the Blade Master. Which looks like it has aftermarket headlights, well, aftermarket tail lights from the factory.
MOH Airborne fan says, I wonder when you would do this.
Now.
Wonder no more.
Yeah.
Where do you think you guys would go next? Says the saber-toothed mouse. Austin. We're coming to Austin, Texas in April.
Boston?
Austin.
Boston?
Austin.
Ah.
This could go on all night. Austin, Texas. Not sure of the date. I'll have to talk with Steph Schrader, see when she's free. We're trying to get some time at Harris Hill Raceway and finally get my ass on a racetrack. Which also means we would need a camera car while in Austin because we're flying. I'm not driving.
Yeah, no. It's, someone
Australia when?
You don't need to go now. You've driven all the cars you need to.
Yeah, right.
Someone up there asked what my plan is with the album. The album came out last May. It's just I was really shit at doing promo about it. So like, I don't know, maybe one of these like weeks I'll shoot a music video for a single to like promote, or not a single, but you know, like it's on Spotify and iTunes. You just type in regular car reviews, it should come up. But
Is there any aftermarket places even in New Zealand or Australia I could get Pats for my Pontiac G8? eBay.com.au?
Also, like,
Why do you want to make it look like a Pontiac?
no,
Oh, yeah,
they
it is someone-
have a G8.
Yeah, they have a Pontiac G8 and they want to know places in Australia to get parts for it because it's Australian.
Basically everywhere. There are like entire performance shops that just do Commodores.
will there be a video On my end, no, but I'm looping like my footage from the Auckland meet into my diary entry on New Zealand.
Isaac's shot a bunch of B-roll, and I think Andrew, you were trading off with the Canon, so we
B-roll.
have some B-roll to work with.
Yeah.
It's nothing particularly exciting.
But I think they mean like, is there going to be one of those like riff videos where we just rip on everything there? And I didn't do one of those, so I'm just. I ran out of clever things to say after Lead. Oh wait, no, this was before Lead. Yeah. Okay, so I didn't have anything clever to say first. I guess I was saving it all for Leadfoot.
I did like in Hard Park how long it took us to get you out of the car park of Hard Park.
Yeah.
Into Hard Park.
Like, is this the car show? This is great. This is the car park.
A comment that moved up to the top said, "What is my favorite generation of Corvette?" The answer is C6. It's the first Corvette that didn't have pop-up headlights. It's when it resized and got smaller. It is the best all-around Corvette right now in terms of price and performance for you to make something of it, or if you just want to drive it, it's fine too.
What's your most favourite thing about New Zealand?
The people it's kind of I had this line in here somewhere that the politeness of the people in New Zealand makes me think unfavorably, or makes me think about the inadequacy of our own pleasantries, because
Good, that's a good line.
Because I think that I'm being nice, just saying, please and thank you, but you get people out there who are going out of your way to help you sort of find things, that they'll walk you to the bathroom, even though it's not a bar and you're not drunk and you don't need help.
The amount of various either like auto parts shops or other shops here have said either don't buy it from us because we're too expensive, go to those guys to buy it instead.
Yeah.
Or went to like a nuts and bolts shop to get like some specific fasters. Oh, how many do you want? I don't know, 20. He goes, here, take them.
Mm.
It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great here.
I had this one line tonight at the bar. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but it goes, "Alone together at the bottom of the world, Kiwis hold on to friendships."
Deep.
That is deep. Don't pleasantries end up being dishonest and fake?
Not
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
really.
you can tell when, for the most part, when you get to a certain age, I think, and a certain amount of experience, you can tell when people are
That's the
being
thing, we
fake.
don't really do like pleasantries here though. We're just like chill about everything and happy to help you with everything. But we're not big on like saying thank you or please or anything like that, or like appearing polite. We're just like, if you need help with a thing, I will help you with the thing. It's cool.
There is no LA nice.
No.
That fake nice.
Yeah, kissing
It's
the air
good to
behind
see
you.
you.
Right,
Like that.
Yeah, like when we're rushing to get the Lannis Road legal, we're trying to find new brake rotors, and we went into this new parts place that we'd only just found about, and they phoned every part shop in the Wellington region for us.
Yeah.
Like one
Hunting
completely
for
unconnected to them, just like, oh, we'll find some for you somewhere. Even though you're not going to buy them off us, we'll call everyone else and find out who does have them. Holy shit, guys.
When we went to Elliott Stables, for some reason I wrote, "Sign at Elliott Stables asks patrons to inquire about bookings. I realize inquire is an anagram for Enrique." Like, why? And that's one of those things of like, you read, why the hell did you write that?
I think the heat must have been getting to you.
It probably was. And there was someone up there who said, "What's your least favorite thing about New Zealand?" And it was probably the heat. But that's mostly because you're coming from PA where, I guess we were 2 weeks removed from the coldest shoot in RCR history, which, the wind chill made it -6.
In Fahrenheit, which is... are you doing the calculations?
No, I'm not doing the calculation.
Yeah, it was -6 Fahrenheit.
Oh, Jesus.
So
It's
that
like,
would have been...
that's like -18 or something.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, no.
Someone said, and I can't do the Kiwi accent, have you
have you hit any trouble in understanding our accents?
A little bit. When the Kiwi accent is particularly thick, I have to concentrate like Neo stopping bullets to understand it. And there is a comic I'm going to have Megan Wills do of Kiwi Man, who's going to be a bird man, like either a Kiwi head or that Kia parrot, the one that chews apart cop cars. And the beak is just going to be open, and the words and just the letters yeah na 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 yeah na 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 na, because unless I'm really looking at your mouth and eyes and trying to understand if I'm not paying attention, the words just, cloud together and it's just the letters E, Y, and A and H and and I just tune out. Like I can't. I'm searching for nouns that I can find the subject and the predicate of that sentence, and they're not always there.
See, the weird thing is, like, as Kiwis and Australians, because we have so much American media, we've heard every American accent to death and can understand most of them really well. But obviously, you guys aren't exactly saturated in Australian and Kiwi media.
You have Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah, exactly.
FPS Ranga asks, how is not tipping people feel as an American so
Weird. I
Like-
feel like an asshole,
Yeah.
especially when they're bussing the table for me.
We
The
bust
bar
the table at like literally every place we've gone, and they look at us like, "Oh, good on you, mate." And then it's just we don't. They look at us like we don't have to do it, but it feels weird. We feel like I feel like they're silently judging me because they know we do it back at home. So why do you think you're so good that you can't do it here?
See, we have waiters whose job is to take your plates, and they get paid to do that, and then done. Keep it simple.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, have you tried pineapple lumps?
You have, haven't you? Yeah.
What are pineapple lumps?
Canned.
Just canned
Candy,
pineapple.
yeah.
Or-
They're like this chocolate-covered fake pineapple candy thing.
Yeah, either you sent me some or Julia
Yeah,
sent me
yeah.
some. Yeah, I put them in the freezer and then they were better.
It's kind of like those Jaffa cakes we had in the UK, the chocolate-covered little cake thing that had orange in the center.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I didn't finish I had like 2 of them.
The Hissman said, "Did you drive a Commodore?" Indeed, I did.
Common ball.
Did it have a V8? No, it did not. Your beloved Commodores and Falcons, I did drive. Were they aspirational ones? Hell no. I drove the real ones, the everyday
The
ones.
Falcon was like the first tier of slightly aspirational as far as Falcons go. It was like, I want to look like one of the fast ones, Falcons.
Oh yeah, that's like the that's like an SN95 GT or an S127 GT. I'm talking about Mustangs. Yeah, you got the V8. You got the cheapest one, but good on you there. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Regular, trying to pronounce my name. Good luck.
Egadigus Kajita. Maybe? I don't know.
Spaghetti pizza, I feel, must be a dig at a former leader of New Zealand who expressed his love for canned spaghetti on pizza. He's a weird unit.
Canned spaghetti on pizza?
Yeah.
And they get on my ass about ham and pineapple? What is that bullshit?
Apparently that's quite a Kiwi trope though, but
Really?
we wouldn't know.
Ugh.
There
Yeah,
was
no.
Mama's Pizza in Kutztown will serve you ziti pizza, which is just pizza with baked ziti on it.
That requires to know what that is.
Yeah, that way. Yeah, what's ziti?
Really fat macaroni.
Yeah, it's a
Oh.
pasta, and it's longer too. It's
Yeah.
not
That sounds
bad.
pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Enough starch on that pizza to iron a shirt.
I would like starch in my starch, please.
Yeah.
Any Utes? Lamentably, no.
That's surprisingly. I mean,
I haven't. I didn't have any offers or anyone. There might have been one out in the bush or something who couldn't make it to any of the filming locations. I can't remember,
Yeah.
but no, we didn't have any Utes.
Yeah, within
Next
our
time.
circles we're a bit dry.
Yeah, no, mate.
the trouble is, like, literally the most popular car in New Zealand is the Ford Ranger. So, like, we have Utes, but we don't really do Commodore and Falcon Utes. Australia is obsessed with them.
Mhm.
Here we're obsessed with Hiluxes and Rangers. So,
Eagles won the Super Bowl. Yes, they did, and I was watching it here on the YouTube channels that continuously got taken down that were live streaming it because I don't know, I didn't have a VPN, but it's crazy that like the one time I'm not in the country for the Super Bowl, like the Birds finally take it, and so I'm not saying that it has anything to do with it, but like read between the lines, people.
that last comment is accurate.
What?
V6 Holden can't sound like they're trying to say kill me now when accelerating with the custom tools. They do. They sound really off. Because they're a weird 90-degree V6. And
Yeah,
It's not.
they're using the GM 90-degree V. The one I drove had the only good 90-degree V. There's 2 different ones. There's the Buick 3.8.
Yeah.
and then there's the Chevy 3.8. The Holden's got the Buick 3.8. That is the same 3.8 that came turbocharged in the Grand National. However, that was a very good V6 for 1984, and here it is in 1993.
We still had it in Commodores until 2006, maybe 2007 even. We ran with that pretty far, right? And the late ones actually almost felt like a modern engine, like whereas like the one you drove and ones of that era, it felt like somebody had not only removed one spark plug but also removed one piston and rod.
Oh man. We had a good version of the 90-degree V. I think it's called the L77. We might have been looking this up on YouTube. That came with double cams and 4 valves.
Oh yeah. Someone makes a good point. Which part of you Wellington you should try Shigozaki?
Is that where we were a
That's
few
where we
hours
were,
ago?
yeah. I recognize.
I think I posted stuff on Twitter about
There
that.
are Twitter photos.
I was
by
quite
this man
surprised to see
of
that Matterhorn
Shigozaki.
was still open. I thought Matterhorn
Yeah.
was closing down.
Jamie 5.0. I'm annoyed I couldn't find you guys at Leadfoot. To be honest, we only got recognized by like 4 people, and by people I mean like 4 groups of people at Leadfoot.
We were mostly like hiding up in the forest. So.
Yeah, watching the
I got some good photos. It was fun.
Yeah.
Good event, man.
What's with all the sheep shagging jokes and Australian rivalry?
See, the thing is,
But
Kiwis.
okay, here's a question for you. Do you guys in Pennsylvania have some other locality near you that you take the piss out of?
Jersey.
I mean, I'm from Reading, and we take the piss out of Reading. Like it's just kind of what you do because that's your place, and you have to have a sense of humor about it. Like you can't be too up your own ass about where you're from.
Because like everywhere that I've lived, there's always someone else next door that you take the piss out of and look down on. Like, that just seems to be a human psychology.
Yeah.
And
Jersey and you plates on the front of your car, and because Pennsylvania does not require a front plate. It varies state by state in the U.S. California.
Sorry, my car broke and you got refunded for the box that my neighbor built.
Hey, Logan!
Hey.
Oh,
Good guy. Sorry. I mean,
we're still gonna review that. I mean, there will be a shorter review, but hey, and I may even reach out to Alien Weaponry to see if they'll give me Udu Tai.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
And I bet they will.
The rest of America hates Pennsylvania, especially Philadelphians.
yeah,
Haters gonna hate.
yeah, seriously.
Surely you have some kind of typical Philly expression to come back with that.
See, I don't live within the borough and the county at Philadelphia County, so I don't have any Philly isms.
Yeah, no, all them Johns can enjoy these nuts.
Yeah.
And that's not really the John part is, but I don't even know where the fuck that is.
Rest in peace, headphone users.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you could import any car from the United States, what would you pick and why?
Oh.
Question
no,
for the
anyway.
displaced.
No. It's from anywhere into the States. That's you guys.
Oh.
So you're
Well, I certainly like that Celica we drove. That was pretty. That was
the
pretty
GD4.
zippy.
Yeah, that was good. The thing I found unusual about that.
Surely it'd be a Rex STI wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could still get parts. I could still get parts for it. Yeah.
And for how cheap they are, you can put 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
It's gonna take a few weeks to wash the yeet out of my vocabulary.
Yeah.
And then nah.
Now I
Maybe
know.
it'll stay. Who knows?
I know what the answer to that question is. I think
Which
if you
one?
purchase any car down here you reviewed, what would it be?
It's like a subtle way to try to get us to say what we reviewed.
Well, you've already said what this was.
Yeah, say it on
because you
Twitter.
posted a picture of this one.
Oh yeah. See, would I want that in the U.S.? That's the question. I'd like it. It'd be
great
fun to
US
be
car.
use it for driving Lyft. It was a Toyota Century, which is a aluminum block 5-liter V12 in a car that is. I need to find some good synonyms for smooth. I need better synonyms for smooth or analogies.
It's a hovercraft with wheels.
I'm talking a
Good
car
for
smoother than, like, you didn't shave your junk for like 3 solid months, and then you do, and you layer on the Jergens on top of that. That's how fucking smooth this car is.
This was a car
It's
where
a car that you got to do, a double take and check it with your eyes to make sure you're feeling what you're feeling.
It's like that silk stuff that Joey Diaz gave to Michael Douglas to use with Catherine Zeta-Jones. Talk about that silk! That's not the name of the product, but I call it silk.
it was also a car that the guy had removed 3 mufflers from and was still one of the quietest cars he's ever driven.
And it looks like a car from 20 years before it actually came out.
And always has, like.
Yeah.
But
was
man,
great.
they're not corner mirrors or
Fender
mirrors.
Fender mirrors. Hey, they work. You know what? How good they work. They work like the mirrors on a Hayabusa or your better kind of sport touring motorcycles that put the mirrors as far front of the fairing.
What an extreme comparison. A Hayabusa to a Century.
Okay. Well, the
I just
mirrors
mean like,
are far
yeah, but
ahead.
I just mean like vehicle to vehicle. Like,
I like the mirrors on the Hayabusa. They work. But they're far out there, so you see more, and it's an easier transition for your eyes to focus from there to there than it is from there to there.
what does rally culture look like here?
It looks like guys in rear-wheel drive Starlets with 4 AGEs in them bombing through the forest. Pretty much the answer. Or like old dudes in mid-90s WRXs. There's lots of rallying though. It's real easy to like close down forest roads and that kind of thing, yeah.
While you were gone, what did you think of the F1 Grid Girls ban? I heard about that on Twitter. It was going to happen. I think it's a good thing. However, I do understand that some of those employees of F1 were well compensated and now may be out of a job. Maybe they could be put in some sort of employment or maybe not.
I thought you were going to say put in some kind of home. Some kind of home for retired grid.
And then the big question is, why do we need them? They're a placeholder for the spoils of war. Like Rogan was talking about one time, why do we need ring girls? They're a placeholder for the warriors will then take them.
Shit's just weird.
Right. The gladiators will then take their prize.
Yeah.
And the same thing works with cheerleaders. And then they said, well, if that's the case, when we have 2 female fighters, shouldn't we have some hot guys? Like some Chippendales dancers right there?
Seems legit.
Seems legit.
Yeah, I'm sure Sage Northcutt isn't doing anything. It's like just bring him out.
Lube up Ric Flair, I'm sure. Give him the
Jesus.
wig and everything. Woo!
Yeah, woo!
You know he'd be down for it.
You
though.
think that he'd totally do that?
Yeah. Logan felt so bad for wasting your guys' time. Oh, please.
Ah, please.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah, we're good. We're still gonna do something with that.
On the plus side, the car managed to do a burnout in the driveway when I got it home.
How badly do cars rust in New Zealand?
Depends what they are. Like, if you get...
Honda's rust bad.
Yeah, and if you get like a mid-90s Falcon, all the sills will have disappeared.
Because Falcons were built in the continent that rust forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Australian market and Australia doesn't really rust. Then you bring them here and they just die. But not
Cyber-
too bad. No road salt. So
Yeah, there's very little road salt here, so it's just like probably similar levels to sort of southern UK.
and to answer all the I have an extra review questions, they're leaving in about 20 hours.
Yeah.
So no.
Did you drive any classic American cars while you were here? No.
That would be a bit silly.
Kind
I
of
mean,
hard.
I mean, we did joke about going to the American car show.
Yeah, and I'm like, anything, like, what are you going to show me here that I can't see at home at Carlisle, where all the rarest of rare?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
like you
the
come here.
classic American car to have in the U.S. right now, if you're a collector, and they may be peaking, I don't know, is the 1963 Chevrolet Corvette, because it's the only one that came with a split window. I don't know if some of those are pushed. Well, they're all above 6 figures now to have one of those. Right now, the air-cooled Porsches are peaking right now as far as collectors.
Well, air-cooled Porsches are the coolest of Porsches.
Yeah, I kind of agreed on that one. Like, it has become this huge fad, but they're cool.
What is this badass 70s style room you're in? The badass part is that people don't even realize, like, we have a giant screen in front of us that allows us to see.
Well, you could just see the projector glare. At
Yeah.
The top.
Yeah.
So, we're able to read the chat while it's going on. It's really cool.
This is
This
what
looks like the album artwork.
Yeah.
Some prog rock album.
Yeah.
Like, this is us disheveled after a long day of recording, and the producer says, "Okay, one quick photo."
We're just, we've had it with the day.
We all have to do a line before we can post for this.
Yeah.
Where do you guys get the most car review emails from? The internet?
Do you break it down by state?
California by default because of population.
Yeah.
I get a lot from North Carolina and the mid-southern, like the more northern of the southern states, because, like New Zealand, it is a temperate climate. Your seasons aren't that extreme.
I think that dude wants to fuck you, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, do you have an Australian in you, and would you like some? The only one is Angela White. That's the only one. I'm sorry, I'm taking it. No.
When are you guys coming to Christchurch, New Zealand? This is going to be a low blow, but when are you guys going to have roads?
Oh!
Ooh, damn.
Oh, I felt that one from here.
It's a logistical question.
Sadly, kind of cruise drive
Not your
down.
fault. Not your fault. Well, literally, we did think that. Like, what? First of all, South Island was on the original plan to do it, but then we realized that this trip was gangbusters from almost beginning to end with very little days off.
And we don't want to do another smoking car. We pushed too hard, and that trip wasn't enough downtime.
Yeah.
I plan to return to New Zealand at some point. It may be just me doing fun stuff, and it may be me going to the South Island to ski in wintertime. Will I review cars? Yes. They may be all point of view ones, because I may not feel like bringing all my gear with me. But
Your whole Pelican case, oh my god.
Well, a lot of questions about that. You know, the Pelican case, because it looks kind of sinister in a way.
yeah.
I don't understand this at all. Like,
You get it a little bit on the East Coast. By the time we got to LAX, no one cared because everybody's a producer.
Yeah.
So, and
I
then
mean, there are so many film guys coming in and out of New Zealand here. We don't care here.
yeah, like, yeah.
someone says, "Damn, nice Christchurch roast."
Yeah.
But
South
you know,
Island
that's a
is
lot. That's a
better.
lot of work to bring that city back.
Yeah.
Now I said that because the PennDOT in me wants to bust PennDOT. Never finishing anything,
Yeah.
but they got a world of work ahead of them.
They're going to be working on the Penn Street Bridge for like the rest of my natural life. And they started maybe last year. That's just going to be a pain.
Some
inside
guy
my
said
natural
South Island is best
Well,
island.
it's the
You
best
missed out.
island.
Well,
I believe it. Yeah.
I would say that, I mean, someone's going to hate me for this. I would say the best cities are in the North Island, but the best actual pieces of land are in the South Island. So,
I mean, I was gonna
Mr.
say,
R, have you ever shat yourself as an adult? There were some miscalculations.
Surely that's just a different phrase of have you had food poisoning as an adult?
I have, but I did not poop myself at Tim Strickler's house when that happened. One guy just says, "I love Welly."
yeah.
Yay.
What attractions have you traveled to here in New Zealand? We didn't really do touristy stuff. When I see attractions, it means like, yeah, da 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 da
to
da.
Disneyland, Florida.
Piha's kind of an attraction.
Yeah.
Well,
The weird thing about Piha is, like, I expected this, well, after you told me it was a world-famous beach, it's like, why is the only place to eat some guy named Murray?
Even better, the place to eat there was like something from Fallout, because there was
Yeah.
this like brick building that was missing its roof and 3 of its walls,
Yeah.
and they'd set up a caravan and like a makeshift counter with a mobile Xbox machine in it. I expected to be served by a ghoul with guns under his and it was great. And the tacos were legit too.
One guy says, I brought my AW11 to Hooten, and then I saw half of the MR2s that already showed up, and after seeing which cars Mr. Regular foamed over, I should have brought my 86 Super
Suzuki
Carry?
Super Carry,
Oh,
yeah, damn
Super
right.
Carries.
Yeah. Well,
What is a Super Carry?
Well, I
it's
know what
like
a carry is.
it's like a key van, like a
Okay.
pay car van.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen the gamut of AW11s, and I've seen one with a Gen 4 engine swap that came to my car meet. that's now making 300 horsepower to the wheels. When you go that far with an AW11, you're going there for the sake of going there. It no longer is a alternative to a Lotus Elise because you've just built something stupid. Stupid good, but still crazy stupid. And when you push AW11s, what are they saying?
Just Hamish Bell was just on the button with that one.
Oh, you're Hamish?
No.
It's some of it, like NZ Car Culture and a nutshell, Legacy Wagon or Pretzel with a fart can.
Yeah, I'm finding out that.
No one uses fart cans here. What New Zealand are you in?
Yeah, did you go to Hard Park?
You're like walking in the hills around here and it's beautifully quiet and then you just hear like echoing off the fucking hills.
It's like that. That's like, what's New Zealand like? It's this beautiful, picturesque, like not rolling hills, sharply cascading hills, and a shimmering water behind, and then you just hear a Subaru with booty bass coming out of
I'm right on Chrome.
Okay, that's good. Because I know you've talked about this a whole bunch. What American cities does New Zealand remind you of?
Wellington is like a mix of Pittsburgh and Wellington is the size of Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Yeah, population size, as near as makes no difference. The size of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Not as many bridges, just as much water. Not as congested, certainly, as Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh is just in this super crazy valley.
As demonstrated by a constant jaywalking across major roads with cars on them.
The interesting thing about Wellington is that you have this really densely packed, whatever that party street is, with the brothels and everything.
It's a shower show.
But you go one block over and no one gives a fuck. There's
Yeah.
just no one there. It's like, how come all this the business just doesn't spread?
The thing that even as a local kind of surprised me, or relative local, was that Friday night where we were on like Courtney Place and we went 2 blocks away to the waterfront and literally all I could hear was you and me talking.
Yeah.
The 20 people around us didn't seem to be talking. I
Yeah.
couldn't hear a car, I couldn't hear anything else.
Yeah.
Is that the place with the Turks boss fight?
Uh,
the bridge?
No,
That was in Auckland.
Oh, alright, yeah.
the place with the crusty butthole.
Oh, that guy, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that guy who, someone surprised
Installed
everyone
it.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea how you get away with that. But
We should answer a few more questions in the live chat. How long have we been
we've
going,
been going
for?
an hour.
Oh, we've been going an hour. Yeah, that's good for a
Yeah.
podcast. Any plans to try kangaroos are not in New Zealand.
There's a huge amount of wallabies on the South Island because someone fucking released them.
Rocco's Modern Life. Nice.
Get an ice cream in Pocono on the way to Auckland. Ew.
Ew, that's so many scoops. And I say that as a fat man.
That's gluttony right there.
Restaurant, the Mount Victoria Railway bus tunnel.
On our way back to Wellington from Carterton, I was driving your E60, and Bryce and Juliet were in their Toyota Noah,
Oh yeah.
and I think I could have kept up with them on the straights, except on the Rimataka Pass, there aren't any. And I did not see their brake lights light up on that car as they descended. And I was standing on them in the E60.
When you're in a van here, you need to just preserve every bit of momentum you've got. They've all got like 90 horsepower. So you get used to just, I have this speed, I ain't giving it up. Is Auckland a small LA? No.
No.
The only thing LA and Auckland... Say Auckland or Wellington?
Auckland.
Oh.
Auckland is, I guess, kind of your New York City, but
I mean...
it's the big city.
Yeah, it is the big city, but like...
I mean...
It's over 1 million people.
Did you go Girls and Coast Road past? Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
most definitely
Seeing
did.
that this house is in Wainuiomata, Manor,
Yes.
it makes sense to film down Coast Road.
Favorite car from Leadfoot? Ooh, I kind of like that Mustang Fastback that went up the hill, but my favorite one that went up was the AE82 Corolla Sprinter, or AE82, the one with the 4AGE in it.
Oh yeah, just the like A82 twin cam hatch.
Yeah, that thing was my favorite.
Yeah,
because
so-
I drove the regular. We didn't. Oh, we did get that one. We did get in the U.S. and it was called the. It wasn't the Corolla GTS. That was our AE86. The AE82 with the 4AGE was called the something 16. Advertising that had 16 valves.
Oh yeah. I think that said twin cam 16 down the side. I don't know.
Auckland, Portland, Oregon.
No.
I've never been to Portland, but I would be surprised if Auckland's anywhere near as.
I mean, they do have that bike path that.
The Bright Peak bike path. Yeah.
that makes me think of Portland.
Sorry, Auckland, but fuck Auckland.
Yeah.
FPS Rango asked like what was the most regular New Zealand
Some
car.
guy named Jack is in Wellington.
I'm watching this and wondering about it. That's a little bit freaky.
Is he watching it on the live stream, or like should we be checking behind the curtain?
I'm taking a shit listening to you guys talking about automotive vehicles, said Giraffe Man.
The most regular car in New Zealand, I would personally say not a Corolla, say Subaru Legacy.
Yeah, definitely Subaru Legacy.
There's just so many Legacies.
But
I agree. Fuck Auckland. Someone else said Auckland rocks.
I like Auckland.
Good morning from the East Coast.
I like
Mike,
bits of
who's getting
Auckland.
up
I like the
early, right?
beaches, and I don't mind the waterfront. But the thing that confuses me about Auckland is like, I was like, oh, we must be in sort of an industrial sort of area, and then we drove for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, we're still in an industrial area. We drove for another 20 minutes, and I'm like, is the entire city an industrial area?
I think maybe because like parts of it look like Mother Base from Metal Gear Solid 5, so I just feel like, oh, this is a nice place to be. Hey! I wrote things that I don't really. Okay, so just girls in short shorts and fashionably painted expressions migrate south like some flightless bird. They speak in hushed, excited tones as though a boy they like is 10 paces ahead. None of the servers in the food court seem to know where any of the tables are. Patrons loudly applaud the arrival of food. Are we in an art school? Because this place looks sketch. And I didn't,
good pun.
yeah, and I didn't write like where that took place, but
I know where
wanna
that was.
I
say-
know where that took
all right.
place. Yeah.
Was it Elliott Stables?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, guys. Tell guys from PA how your city is an industrial wasteland.
No, it's not our city. It's that other city.
It's the one that we would never live in, because this one is nicer.
He's wrong. Roman's talking louder to hear his own voice. I'm Puerto
That's
Rican. This is just my
because
volume.
The microphone is right here, so you can hear me, but I'm now right here.
But also I'm Puerto Rican and we're loud as shit. That's just how it goes. But
Someone's fapping to my feet, apparently. I'll take it. Paint me like one of your French girls.
yes. Oh.
Now
General
we
question.
get to watch the comments come in of me talking to the microphone. Here they come.
Subaru Brat versus El Camino as first cars. Which is better? I can afford either one.
Can
Subaru
you
Brat.
really afford it?
Versus El Camino, like there are multiple versions of the El Camino
Yeah.
because there's made stuff in the 80s that may be easier to find parts for if you're in the US.
I moved from Wellington to Auckland and I don't know how to feel.
Like you made a poor decision, that's how you should feel. How's the best use it? Okay then, cool. You enjoy that.
What was the most surprising thing about your visit? The thing that I didn't expect? How unconcerned the citizens of New Zealand are with weirdness, in that it's a different, is it a byproduct of She'll Be Alright? Of some guys just being weird over there. Alright. Okay. Today, we were walking down
Cupid Street.
and we saw the skateboarder.
There was a guy
Yes,
in like
yes.
his mid-30s as well.
Yeah, he had a little bit of age on him.
Yeah.
He said, being 32.
He was a guy who set up his skateboard on the top of two benches outside of a bar.
Yeah.
He then skateboarded across one bench, dropped down to another bench, because two benches were on different levels, or one was higher than the other, and then he tried to do some trick off of it. Screwed up midair, fell over a table and a chair, and then skateboard kind of falls away. No one called him an asshole.
And the table falls
And
down.
the
table falls.
and the chair next to the table that just like.
Some people looked at him. One guy said, "Oh, you're packing up," because the table folded up.
Yeah.
And the guy said, "Sorry." He set the table right. He put the chair back up next to the table, and by that point we had walked on.
Yeah.
But no one slow clapped. No one called him a dickhead. It's just some guy trying some skateboard trick. It just happens to be a bit crowded right here.
Like no one gave a second look to it. It was just kind of.
And no one recorded it. No one filmed
Yeah, but
it.
this happened over the course of like 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
So there was no way to kind of like, because we didn't really. I don't know. You don't think someone's going to do that because you're in Pennsylvania state of mind, and you think like, well, I can't do that. There's going to be somebody who's going to take me aside and tell me, sir, a word.
Yeah.
How does the makeup size of vehicles compare to the US? We think a Ford Ranger is big. There you go.
Too bad you couldn't meet Blanket Man. R.I.P.
It's
Who's
New
Blanket
Zealand
Man?
upside down.
Famous homeless guy.
Oh.
But the moons.
Yeah, I got some good long exposure shots of the southern sky. I wish I had my phone out there and I would listen to stuff.
Has the Roman shrunk in size? No, he's just very far away.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much like I've been the same size since college.
I'm just thinking of the scene from Father Ted where he's trying to explain using models of cows. Small, points the cow out the window, very far away. Small.
Yeah, slow mode kind of sucks because that's where we're at a weird hour for the U.S. But believe me, it's necessary when we broadcast.
Or is it? Or are they complaining about the low frames a second, which is probably more that it's not actually that.
No,
light.
I think it's the
they have to wait like 240 seconds between posting.
Oh, good.
Things.
Fucking make measured fucking questions.
Yeah.
Did you find the 100 kph speed limit?
No. No, I was having trouble getting up to that. You have reasonable speed. You have.
I mean, there are certain roads where there is a bit dumb on, like Desert Road and stuff like that, but you haven't seen those. There are a few relatively straight, boring highways, but they're few and far between. And for that, I say that the limit is dumb.
Yeah, there's the stretch from Kutztown, Pennsylvania to the New Jersey border, which is going to take you just under an hour, and it's mostly a straight road. It's 55 miles an hour, which is, 80 Ks on a dual carriageway. 2 lanes, you're not supposed to go faster than 55, and it's straight. Drives you nuts, and it's there for speed traps. And it also stops, I believe, it's called a Pennsylvania safety corridor. Ooh, it's got some turns in it.
See here, the whole bunch of those roads where the limit is theoretically like 80 or 100, but it's like, if you're actually maintaining that speed down there, you're pushing hard.
I think, as FPS Ryan said, I think Australia's way worse, especially stuff like the Hume Highway between Melbourne and... It's just like, this is a road that would do the Romans proud. It is that fucking straight.
Yeah.
And it's 110. And it's like, there's nothing here. We're in a desert. like, why isn't there a reasonable limit? It's more dangerous driving slow because it's so fucking boring. You just can't keep your attention. And there's German highway engineers have been like, you should raise the limits here because it'd actually be safer because people would pay attention. But here, there's just so few roads that are really that worthy.
The great thing here is attempting to get Google Maps directions to places where it's like, this road is 80, so you'll be here in whatever speed it is at 80. It's like, if you're... if you're in a WRC car and you're like Sebastian Loeb, yes, you will be there on that road.
Well, gentlemen, it is getting late. We're going to do a bit of the old washing up and then sleep.
Yes.
Thank you so much for everybody who donates to RCR on Patreon. It allows us to travel and travel quite well as a much larger channel than we are. Thank you so much to Caswell Parker and Andrew Lamb for allowing us to hosting us here in beautiful Wellington.
By automation.
Check it out at automationgame.com. Haven't forgotten about you, Nick.
Oh no, I was gonna ask for redemption to say like Andrew Lamb, Andrew Lamb,
Yeah.
and Caswell Parker. Look over here. Yeah.
And if we could put it up down here, well, I
Yeah.
can't do it post, but check it out, automationgame.com. It is, you think you could build a better car company? Well, here's your chance to put up or shut up. You get to design everything from lift camshaft lobes, even down to like choose variable valve timing, not variable valve timing, piston size, what the connecting rods are made out of, all the way up to fleet manufacturing and, well, like the quality of manufacturing and fleet marketing.
Employing to sell a game for us.
Yeah, I know. It's way better than we are.
I'm available. Nah, you guys are great. I do it gratis.
Thank
you so much. And automation something. Automation developers live in Welly. What the fuck? I work near the mini Metro game developers.
Yay! Curry Brothers for the win.
Curry Brothers.
All right, guys. You have a very good night. Thanks
Thank
for
you so
watching.
much.
Bye.
Bye.
How do I shut it off?